This is ABMT 2015 question from vectors. That's two-dimensional motion. The question is like this. There are two vectors, vector A and vector B, whatever they are functions of time. Then the value at which they are orthogonal to each other. Orthogonal means they are perpendicular to each other. So what they're asking is at what time or after what time they are perpendicular to each other. They are perpendicular. So when the vectors are perpendicular, if you remember the formula A dot B can be written like AB cos theta. They are perpendicular means cos 90 will come. You know cos 90 equal to 0, so that becomes 0. So for the two vectors to be perpendicular, their dot product has to be equal to 0. So what is A bar that is given for you? A bar is cos omega t I cap plus sin omega t j cap. B bar can be written like cos omega t by 2 I cap plus sin omega t by 2 j cap. Then we shall find out A dot B and equate that to 0 because they are perpendicular to each other. How do we find the dot product of two vectors is, if A bar is a vector x I cap ay j cap plus az k cap, and B bar is a vector with bxi cap plus byj cap plus bzk cap, A bar dot B bar becomes multiplication of their products of x components ax bx, ay by plus az bz. I have already proved this in the other video of this playlist of vectors. You can just look for that if you want to know from where you got this formula. So I have to multiply the products of I components. First I component is cos omega t. Second I component is cos omega t by 2. Similarly, I have to multiply j components, that is sin omega t, and the second component is sin omega t by 2, because I dot I equal to j dot j equal to k dot k equal to 1. Now this is in a format of cos A cos B plus sin A sin B, that is equal to cos of A minus B omega t minus omega t by 2. From where you got this? Cos of A minus B in trigonometry has a formula cos A cos B plus sin A sin B. That's a trigonometric formula. So A dot B equal to this much. Being they are perpendicular to each other, their dot product has to be equal to 0. So cos of omega t minus omega t by 2 is omega t by 2 equal to 0. So when cos becomes 0, when that is pi by 2, as I have already told you, 90 degree. So omega t by 2 equal to 90 degree we shall not write because degree is not an SI system. Rather you have to convert 360 degree is 2 pi, 1 pi is 180 degree, pi by 2 means 90 degree. So I have just converted that 90 degree into radians. This 2 and 2 also will cancel. And the value of the t is pi by omega. So my answer has to be pi by omega. After this much of the time, these two vectors becomes perpendicular to each other. That's how we solve this problem. That's it. Thank you for watching.